Moving on to the next lecture, it will be given by Dr. Amit Kumar Vishwakarma on the topic Introduction of Smart Contract. Dr. Amit Kumar Vishwakarma is the blockchain consultant at the Procurement Research Center of Arun Jaitley National Institute of Financial Management. He holds a doctoral degree in electrical engineering with specialization in blockchain technology from IIT Kanpur. He has also been a keynote speaker in blockchain events such as CRDF Global, APC Ministry of Textiles, Tsinghua University Blockchain Association. His research area includes blockchain technology, tokenomics, CBDC, and smart contracts. So I now request Amit to please deliver his lecture.
आपके इसमें कट रहा है 102 को बोले उसको 102 तो ही ठीक.
Thank you so much, Soumya, for a nice introduction. So first, I'd like to thank Dr. Madhuranjan sir, giving me the opportunity to speak on this stage. And so today I'm going to talk about a basic of blockchain technology and the smart contract. As sir already discussed almost a lot of things. So I am not going to talk about all those things what sir have spoken already. But a little bit in detail I will talk basic of those things, basic about the blockchain technology and the cryptocurrencies and the smart contract. So first I'd like to start about this confusion, like the blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies and the smart contract, what are all these things? Okay. So a lot of people are not from the same background as we are, like from the academics and from the research team. So the blockchain technology is just a technology. So the applications are like very wide. So cryptocurrencies are one applications, and the other technologies that we discuss, those are the applications on the blockchain technology. So the crypto is one of the applications. So we are not here to discuss about the cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin or anything that is not related to our topic. So the conference is particularly about the smart contract, and the smart contract is actually not related to the blockchain. Blockchain is kind of technology, and the smart contract is a contract, like a simple contract we know. A contract, a simple contract, traditional contract is on paper, and the smart contract that we talk about, it is kind of a computer code, and that is a self-executable when certain conditions are met. So it is kind of, it will eliminate the third party. But if we'll talk about in the blockchain context, so the blockchain is the one platform where the smart contract can be implemented by using its properties of the blockchain, like we have immutability and scalability and decentralization. Okay. So first I would like to start about the blockchain technology, then how it got evolved, and then I will discuss about the smart contract in detail. So as we know, like in 2008, a person or a group of person we don't know, so who introduced a blockchain into the market. So it was on a paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So the paper was written in 2008, and the application got started in 2009 in January. Okay. So what is actually a blockchain technology? So blockchain technology is a kind of distributed ledger technology. So where the data is not stored at a single place, it will be stored at a lot of places. Suppose people in the room, almost 150 people are there. So all are involved into the network, and the data, there will be no third party. If a transaction is happening, then the people into this room, they will handle everything. Like the bank does, bank will handle all the transactions, they will maintain the ledger. So in terms of blockchain technology, this will not happen. In terms of blockchain technology, all the people who are present here, they will participate into the verification of the contract, verification of the transaction, and storage of the transaction, and all the thing that is happening into the network. People are responsible to do that. And for that, the blockchain technology, they have introduced a concept of mining. So people who are participating in the mining, they will get some mining fees for that. So they will not do anything for free. People will get incentive. And how they will get incentive? For that, in this paper they have mentioned, we have almost 21 million. We have actually 21 million Bitcoin into the market, and those network, they will self-produce after some time. Once a block created, then they will generate few Bitcoin, and they will give to the people who are participating into the network. So why this blockchain got introduced? So there were some problem, like how to perform a digital currency transaction between users without any intermediary. Like we have right now, we have a bank, and a lot of people, I don't know, maybe have faced the same problem that I have faced. If you are going to the bank for any transaction or doing anything, most of the time, if you will go in a state bank, then you will find the transactions are like their server is not working, and you will have to wait for some time before they proceed those things. So I think these are the computer codes, so they will never complain anything such like that. So once a transaction you will initiate, the computer codes, they will automatically do all the things that is required for completing a transaction. So what is a blockchain? So blockchain is immutable, like the blockchain data cannot be changed. As sir said, like the blockchain is a series of blocks that is connected through a chain. So that chain is called a hash, and I will discuss about the hash in detail. So those hashes are those blocks are connected through the hashes. Like almost we have, right now we have 72 lakhs blocks. And if you want to change into one block, like if you want to change a single transaction, then you'll have to change all the blocks that is after that transaction that is stored into the blockchain. So practically it is impossible to do that thing. So I think if you own 51% of the network, then it is possible, but practically that is not possible to own a 51% into the blockchain. So the blocks, once a block is added into the blockchain, it cannot be deleted. And each block contains a hash value of the previous dependent block, so they are connected through a hash value. I'll show that thing. And all the blocks are chained and they are linked, and the entries are mutable and reversible. And data is tamper-proof, as all the data is stored into the blockchain, and that is, the data is in hash form. If you want to change a single data, then that hash value will get changed, and you cannot add those things into the block until and unless all the people will agree on that. And that is practically not possible, so data is tamper-proof into the blockchain. So if any node try to modify a block, then the entire block will be invalidated. So how does this blockchain work? So I think sir explained it very well, so I'm gonna skip this one. So this is how a block looks like in a blockchain. So these are the transactions in the down, if you can see. So, yeah. So the transaction will, here transaction will get initiated, it will not get completed. Okay, the transaction will get initiated and it will happen. And all the transactions, they will calculate a hash value of all the transactions, then it will be chained into, like it will come into the single Merkle root. So how many transactions? Like almost 2,000 to 3,000 transactions it will contain in a single block. So if you want to change a single transaction, so those single transactions, if you will change the hash value from this Merkle root, it will get changed. And you can see all the blocks are related, like this block is connected to this block is connected to this block from this value, the previous hash. This previous hash is the hash of this whole block, okay? So once you will come to this block, so here also they have previous block, the hash value of this block. If you want to change a transaction into this block, then you will have to change all the blocks that is added into the blockchain after that block, and that is practically not possible. So that's why we call this is tamper-proof, and the data is irreversible. The transaction is irreversible in the blockchain technology. Okay. So this is how a hash look like, a simple, I have taken SHA-256. So you can see as I have written my name here, AMIT, A is capital here, and this is the hash value of that one. And if you can see, I written here also Amit only. So, but this A is small, and the hash value is totally different from this one. So this, how this hash is calculated, there is a mathematical computation for that, and I'm not going to discuss about those things. But yeah, online if you are going and if you are checking this, if you write into Google like how to calculate the SHA-256, and you can write your name and you can get the hash value of that one. And then again you can change that. A single bit also you will change, the entire hash value will get changed. So this is how this get added, like all the, this transaction, they will add, then calculate hash, again that. This is just a simple example of 4 transactions, and in a single block in a blockchain, it will contain almost 2,000 transactions, okay? So in a computer, like this is how, I think, okay. So this is how a block will look like. So they will have hash, the capacity of a block, and how much distance they have traveled, like from Genesis block, from block 0 to till that block, and how many Bitcoin transaction is happening into that block, what are the value, what is the value today, and average, these are things. But what are few things that we'll discuss about the fees, how much fees it is, it will take to complete a transaction, and what are the Merkle root that we discussed, difficulty, nonce we'll discuss, and the reward we'll discuss. And the block height also we'll discuss, okay. And the miner, obviously, miner is very important in this case. So as I said, the miner, they are responsible for adding a block into this blockchain. So if I talk about the Bitcoin, so I think this is not visible in that, but here the Bitcoin is the transaction of, the number of Bitcoin transaction happen in this block is around 12,699 Bitcoin. And the fees was 0.3198 Bitcoin. So if you will calculate in a rupees, then this 0.3 will come almost, I don't know right now value, but almost 10 lakhs it will come. And the transaction happen is around 12,699, and you can multiply with almost 25 or 30 lakhs, some, I don't know exactly the value. So it happens in a billion, I think, and the value, the fees is 10 lakhs only. So I think this will be a cheaper if you will talk about in a financial terms. And this nonce and difficulty, what are that? So this, how will find the person who is going to add a block into the blockchain? Because that block, that person will get a lot of rewards when he is adding a block into the blockchain. So for that, there are some certain calculations they have to, some mathematical puzzles have to solve. And this difficulty and nonce are the value that they can adjust to compute those blocks, okay. And the rewards is 6.5 Bitcoin right now. Once, like when the blockchain started, like the Bitcoin started in 2009, it was, I think 50 Bitcoin for a single block, like the reward of single block addition, and then it came, it is going to, it is getting half after certain years. I think in 2041, all the Bitcoin will get exhausted, whatever into the network, the Bitcoin is created. But yeah, those Bitcoins will be into the market. It's not like after 2041, the Bitcoin network will get collapsed. Okay. So the miner in this case is unknown. There are few miners that is very active in the market. So how this blockchain process work? So the first, the transaction will transform into the hash, then the hash of the whole block is created. In a whole block, there are a lot of other things, like in a whole block, there will be a nonce value, the Merkle root, the timestamp. So these are all things, the block hash will get created in that one. And then nonce is appended to the hash and hashed again. And then resulting hash is compared to the difficulty level. This is the this thing people have to solve in case of becoming a miner and to add a block into the blockchain. So these are the, this is a computer code. It is like the difficulty level in starting it was very less, and now this is getting increased day by day because a lot of people are involving to that. Then they have increased the difficulty level. But yeah, in 2014 it will be a lot difficult. Right now we have. So if not, then the norms is change, then trial and error they will calculate the target hash value, and once they will reach that target hash value, then they will get a chance to add a block into the blockchain. So the hash of a header becomes a new block, and then that block will get into, will be the part of the ledger. And the miners will get reward into that. Okay. So I think these all things are discussed. As a trust protocol, what are the properties that blockchain holds. Yeah, so there are certain blockchains like the blockchain type. So we have a public and open. So right now we have in Bitcoin, and we can do the online betting and the video games that we know, the play to earn kind of things. So these all things are implemented on public and open. So like we have a Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then we have a public and closed. So the data will be public, and the permission will be, there will be some permission who can see the transaction that is happening, or who can see the ledger into that. For that, the voting system, the voting records, the whistleblower, those people are there. And for private and closed, so we have certain people who are responsible for adding the block into the blockchain, who can read and who can write, who can do all those things. And in that, the example are like in India, we have national defense, law enforcement and military, and we have a tax returns also. Because these are the things that government need a control of that, so they cannot make it the data publicly. So these things we can implement on a blockchain also, that will be private and closed. And next is private and open. So there are supply chain, the government financial records, so corporate earning statements. So I am working on a supply chain, so I am going to talk about more of private and open. So what are the consensus algorithm? This consensus algorithm, these are the some conditions that I said. So once they will reach to a consensus point, like they will reach to agreement, so this process will get automatically happen. So what are those mechanisms to reaching to the agreement? So the first one is the proof of work. In proof of work is like it is a piece of data that is difficult to produce, but easy for others to verify and satisfy the certain requirements. So in case of proof of stake, we have asked miner to prove ownership of a certain amount of cryptocurrency, means they'll have to put some cryptocurrencies on a stake to become a part of that mining team. And then we have a Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm. So here database replication protocol used in a closed blockchain with limited nodes. So I'm going to discuss about not any of this, because we are not in a smart contract, we are not using the consensus algorithm, so we will reduce the complexity, computational complexity in our case. Okay. So this is a very interesting thing, because most of the application we can see, if you'll go online, if you'll search the blockchain application, you'll find almost like every application is people are building on a blockchain. Okay. But there are very certain points where we actually need a blockchain. We cannot use blockchain at everywhere. Like people, most of the companies, they are launching blockchain solutions. So they are providing solution for everything. So first we'll have to check whether a blockchain is required for or not. And if a blockchain required, then which blockchain will be required for that. So the first one is, do you need to store the states, like the traceability, I can say. If you need that, then we can proceed ahead. If you don't need the storage state, then we don't need a blockchain. And if there are multiple writers into that network, so suppose there are a network of 10 people, and if in that network only one people is writing, then you don't need a blockchain for that. Then only a simple database will be sufficient for that. If there are multiple writers, then can you use an online trusted third party? If you can use an online trusted third party, then you don't need a blockchain for that also. But if you cannot trust anyone who is present online, then you can use a blockchain. And if all writers are known, if they are already known, then you can see if all the writers are trusted also. If they are all trusted, then you also don't need a blockchain. If they are not trusted, if the public verifiability is required, like in terms of government supply chain we see, or the government who they propose some scheme and people want to see. So for those things, we can use a public permission blockchain or private permission blockchain. And if all writers are known, if they are not known, then we can use the permissionless blockchain, like in terms of a Bitcoin and Ethereum network. So no one knows anyone, and people want to make a transaction into the network, then we can use a permissionless blockchain for that. So this is how blockchain get evolved. Like in 2009, the Bitcoin came, and in 2014, the Ethereum came, and after that, a Hyperledger came. So first people in starting the application was only the cryptocurrencies, and it was open and permissionless. Then we came for other applications also. When the Ethereum came, and then this whole thing got changed, because most of the applications are built on Ethereum, or right now we can build on Hyperledger also. So Ethereum is, it is also open source platform like a Bitcoin we have, blockchain we have. It is also a decentralized application. On Ethereum, you can write code, like the smart contract we are talking about. So in terms of blockchain integration, this smart contract, in starting, it was implemented on a Ethereum network. So in Ethereum network, they have Ethereum virtual machine. You can write your code, and you can execute that code, and automatically the transaction will happen. Like any application you want to do, and you can do online on a Ethereum virtual machine that. So this is kind of piece of code. So it will be run exactly as a program. So once you are running the program, and once it is into the blockchain, then you cannot change that program. You can write another program, and you can run another program, but you cannot override that smart contract once you have written and you have deployed on the blockchain technology. So Ethereum, so it is kind of an internet where money and payments are built in. So money and payments are like, right now we also have online banking, but this one is very different. Here you don't need any bank or anything, so you don't have to wait for the servers and something. This is kind of the people who are involved into the network, they will take care of everything. And you can build another payment system, like we have a CBDC right now. So people are talking about CBDCs. So this also you can build on Ethereum network. And this internet, like where user can own their own data, and your app don't spy and steal from you, because this app is not controlled by a single person. So this app is controlled by a group of people that is participating into the mining. So here everyone have access to an open financial system, and the internet built on neutral open access infrastructure controlled by no company or a person. So it will be controlled by a group of entities, like group of people that is participating into the network. So the contract, smart contract, so it doesn't come after a blockchain, like most of the people, they relate the smart contract with Ethereum or with a blockchain. So it is nothing related with the blockchain. So the smart contract was discovered very early, like in 1994, but people were not talking about a smart contract because there were no trusted platform, we can say, where you can implement the smart contract and it can be as much secure as we have right now. But now we have blockchain, and we have Ethereum, we have Hyperledger. We can build a contract on top of those applications, which will give the certain property of blockchain or Ethereum or the Hyperledger that I will discuss in my later talk. The smart contract will help you exchange the money, property, shares, or anything of value you can build a smart contract. So if I'll talk about the supply chain that we are doing right now, so you can build a smart contract for tendering, for auctioning, for purchase order generation, or even you can build a smart contract for the verification of the goods, and all those things can be implemented on a smart contract. And the real-time problem that we are facing, so if you are going for a supply chain, as like most of the people are from the same background, from the finances, or they understand about the supply chain. So there will be a vendor, there will be sub-vendor, and there will be level 3 or level 4 vendors also into the network. So level 3, level 4 vendors they are not very much educated in terms of this new technology. So how we are going to interact with them? So for that, we can create like a certain system, like not a control by, but yeah, the running node will be somewhere like the experts are there. But you can build a certain interface. Like right now we have a normal banking system, you can say. The normal banking system, people like everyone is using, almost everyone in India. Okay. So you can build a simple interface for them. They just have to log in on their account and they can just upload the scan copy or like the thing you want to trace. They can just upload on that that interface, and you can put that on a. You can make that contract and you can put that on a top of Ethereum or Hyperledger on a blockchain. So that will be kind of very very helpful for those people also. If they are not they are not literate, also the digitally literate, then also they can participate into this one, the smart contract traceability. So the smart contract, as I discussed about the details, so I'm not going to cover this one. Yeah. So the smart contract, it is kind of self-executing contract which contains a certain terms and conditions of an agreement between peers. So if the terms and condition of an agreement is written in the code, and when these agreements facilitate the exchange of money, shares and property, etc., then this will happen, and then it will execute it on a blockchain decentralized platform. So if we'll talk about, if I talk about in a simple term, so if you want to, suppose there are almost 5 people into the network, and in that 2 of them, they want to exchange some property or exchange something, okay. So they will write a contract, a computer will write a contract, and if both people are like, if they will satisfy, there are certain conditions. Once that condition will be met, then that contract will get executed automatically. You don't have to do it manually. So like we have right now, once contract will be built, people will make, people will sign, and it will take some time also. But in terms of a smart contract, it will not take more than few minutes. So it will get executed when the conditions are met. So in the normal contract, so people like the transfer of ownership will happen on a paper. And this paper, like we also know, this paper can be tampered at any point of time. If people are more powerful, then they can go on a backdate also, they can change the contracts. But in terms of a smart contract, there are certain conditions you cannot do, you cannot tamper, because once a contract is written and once it is deployed on a blockchain technology, then you cannot change the data that is written into the contract. You can write another contract and you can forget those contracts that is written before, but that contract will still be online. If you want to see, and if you want to see the old contracts, you can go into the network and you can check that contract. And the new contract you can write and you can deploy again on the network. So why we are using a smart contract? So for that, we don't have any, in terms of traditional contract, we have a third party, but in terms of a smart contract, we don't have any third party. So it will eliminate the third party. That means it will eliminate the time that is getting consumed in that process to do those things. And also it will reduce the cost also. And the cost is kind of conflicting, because the contract, the smart contract, if you are running on a blockchain, it will also cost too much. But I'm sure it will not cost that much that is into the traditional contract. Okay. The execution time, it is almost to, like, it depends on the certain, it depends on the offices or the people is involved into that traditional contract, but almost 1 to 3 days we can say it's average time. But in a smart contract, it will take a minute. The remittance is manually in traditional contract, but in a smart contract, it will happen automatically. The transparency, there is no transparency in the traditional contract, but in a smart contract, it is available 24/7, like cross 30, cross 365. You can check anytime and anywhere. The achieving is very difficult in terms of traditional contract, but in a smart contract, it is very easy. And the security is, it is also kind of conflicting. The security in traditional contract is limited, or we can say, it is also depends on the application, but yeah, we can say it is very limited. But in terms of smart contract, you can make it cryptographically secure, but once you are Making it secure makes your to use a technology that is relevant for your application, or like that is relevant for like that is suitable, actually you can say, like if you need all those I discussed, like permission blockchain or the private blockchain, all those things, if those conditions are met, then you can use this contract, and what type of contract is implemented and where you can deploy those contracts. The cost is expensive and the smart contract is cheap, and the signature is manual process, and here it is digital signature will be used in smart contract. So the overall difference, if I'll talk about, then it is there are human involvements in the traditional contract, but there is no human involvement in the smart contract. If you will write a computer code, it will get automatically, everything will happen. And these are the, you can say, the advantages that, yeah, these are the, some are advantages, some of the disadvantages I'll discuss in separate. Okay, but these are the properties that a smart contract hold for what we are doing right now. So this is smart contract. These are not free to use. If you want to make a tamper-proof, and if you want to make it like the traceable and irreversible, then you'll have to implement, you'll have to deploy those smart contract on certain platform. Those platform are like the blockchain platform, we can say. Blockchain platform means it is not related just to blockchain. Blockchain means, if platform means blockchain or Ethereum or Hyperledger, or like we have a lot of other blockchain platform where you can deploy those contracts. So this will share you PPT, I think. So the gas will require to run a smart contract. Gas is kind of, you can say, the smart contract running on Ethereum. They have their own currency called Ether, and this the gas fees will be there to run, and the cost in Ether, it will come. You can see it is like 0.00000009. So it is kind of very small fees that they will cost to run a contract. But yeah, it depends on how lengthy contract you are writing. It depends on the coding that you are using. So this cost depends on those things also. And you can add or subtract to integer in 1 million time, like the cost, the gas will require this much, and the cost will come 0.09 Ethereum. It is little bit much, like it depends on like how much coding you are doing into the contract. Those the fees will is directly proportional to that. So now I'll talk about some applications, a real-time application that people are using. So first one is for a digital identity. So you can access, if you have written this contract is not just between the two people, like it can be between a group of people or with the government also. You can, like government also can make for the digital identity, means we have, right now we have Aadhaar card. So they can use those contract into that thing also. So they will access your identity and they can play a vital part in safekeeping all those your sensitive information. And you can see on a blockchain where is your Aadhaar card is getting used. Right now, I think they have some platform where you can see, but not all the things you can see where your Aadhaar card is getting used. So with the smart contract, it is possible to allow third parties to access certain part of your identification without fully revealing all of those information that is on your identity. So this will also allow a third party to validate your information, whether it is correct or not, but you still remain full control over your identification. That means if you are sharing through the blockchain, then obviously this is getting verified before putting onto the contract, and then you can check, the third party also can check whether all the information are correct or not, where whatever you wanted to share, if you have shared those things. The securities. So with a smart contract, managing securities can improve and simplified. As I said, like a normal contract can be changed and altered, but yeah, in terms of a smart contract, this is practically impossible. So usually there are intermediaries involved in security custody chain, but therefore there is always a vulnerability involved in terms of contract, because you are going to implement those contracts on some platform. That platform may be vulnerable. Okay, but a smart contract can reduce the operation risk of securities and make the workflow more digitalized. And user can also use it for automatic payments, like for the dividends also, stock splits, and even for the liabilities management. So the cross-border payment also, right now, we face a lot of difficulty when we are moving to the outside of country, then there will be some cross-border payment issue. So right now we have something, but not that much efficiently people are using that. So right now making cross-border payments can be more simplified using a smart contract. So mainly in tokenization of asset, where the owner can define the attribute of the asset and then send that asset to the other party. So what does this mean? So you can, right now we have a CBDC. People are like, as sir said, if you are building more secure and more advanced, we can say, then a lot of other countries also going to use that CBDC. In that CBDC, if there is a digital rupees, right now also we have on UPI, you can say it is digital, but the digital rupees is a little bit different. You cannot take out those money, okay? And all the things will be transparent, and once like anytime anyone, like not anyone, but yeah, the control authority, they can see all your transaction and they can keep the ledger with them and they can check all those things. And if you are going outside of the country and if that country have adopted your currency, then obviously like you don't have to get exchange anything, you just go there and you can pay in your currency and it will be validated through that. And also the cross-border payment, it needs to adhere so many laws, so like which can restrict businesses, but with a smart contract. So partner residing in different countries can work together without any financial issue. So they don't have to pay any extra fees for the cross-border payments. So they can easily do from the application interface. So for the loans also a smart contract can help. Right now we have a lot of, like if people are taking loan, a lot of hidden charges are there, and they are like charging anything like that. If you are if you are bouncing the payment and other things, if you are doing anything, then there are a lot of hidden charges. But in the smart contract application, you can control those things and you can see exactly where the charges is going clearly, and you can raise the question also if there is something, there is any problem into that. So this will also track the condition and it will follow the rules based on the outcome of the borrower. So you can see the contract before getting the loan. You can see that computer code and you can check whether you want to take or not. So then other application is financial data recording. So this is also same. The property will be the traceability, immutability, and the irreversibility. The financial data is like, it is not some other data. It's for a computer, it's just data. So, but for our application, so it will allow, it's possible to collect data uniformly throughout a company business, and it will process without needing any regular auditing. So whatever you have written, once that condition will be met, then only you can see those data, or like the computer code, whatever you have written, this will work according to that. So in a government, like how you can use the smart contract. So as a smart contract have automated features, so it can help the government to run operation without interference from the third parties. And operations such as recording lands, title can be done more efficiently and faster. So I think there are certain applications built on a land registry system, and few governments they have adopted also. So those land registry are happening through the smart contract. So you don't need any third party. Like right now you'll have to pay almost 8% or 9% of the total value in a land registry. But if you are going through the smart contract, I think that can be reduced very drastically, and it can be made more secure and more tamper-proof, you can say. So also it is kind of public record, so there is no option for anyone to alter as they want. So another possible use case is electronic election, so where the smart contract can count the votes and automated the whole process. So once, like right now also we have, but sometimes people raise question for that. But if you are writing on a blockchain, then there will be no control on a single of a single person. So like we have ED right now, but you can say like the node, anyone can participate. In India, we have almost millions of nodes, you can say. And if 51%, more than 51% are corrupted into that, then obviously they can change. But yeah, practically you can contact to the other governments also, other country governments also, and you can make them participate. So practically it will be impossible to alter those voting system. So in a supply chain, so this is smart contract, how the smart contract can improve those things. So this smart contract can improve supply chain management greatly. Like if companies are integrated smart contract in all part of the supply chain process, it can help track items to record data in real time. So this will only happen as I said earlier. So digital illiteracy, we have a lot of digital illiteracy in India. So we'll have to make very, very much simple application interface for the people to use it in real time. So it can also manage the inventories, and it will help process all the transaction and payments throughout the supply chain faster. So right now, if there are a lot of payment delays, someone is requesting for a payment, it will take almost 10 days or 15 days to get the approval of those things. But if you write the contract, on a contract, everything very clearly, and if the vendor and the supplier, like both are matching exactly, like they are meeting that conditions, then the transaction will happen automatically within a second. It will not take any time. So it can faster the process also. So in insurance also you can use. So right now, like by using the blockchain technology, smart contract can verify all the documentation and data and process the insurance claim if it falls within the condition. So the contract means like the certain conditions, once it will hold that condition, then obviously it will get automatically it will happen. And everything will be stored on immutable ledger. So the advantage will be the autonomy. No need for trusted third party, and the trust data is stored in shared ledger. So you cannot say, you cannot, if you don't have any trust also, so there is no problem for that. So we have contract is deployed on a blockchain platform, and the people, they don't trust anyone but the computer code. So that is very reliable because you are writing that computer code and you have created the conditions, but it cannot be, after that it cannot be changed. So you can trust all those computer codes, the one you have written for yourself. And the data duplication will be there. Suppose you are into the network. So this question I get a lot, like in a blockchain, suppose or in a smart contract, suppose there are 10 people into the network and everyone is connected. And what will happen if someone account get deleted from that? Okay, will they lost all the data? No, they will never lost the data. Once they will come from another computer, once they will join into the network, once they will log in onto their system, all the data will get copied on another system also again. So you can have all the copies of the ledger at every time with yourself, and you can verify all those data at any time. So it will also automate the various processes, so that will increase the speed of contract. The challenges, there are certain challenges into the smart contract also. So first one is the scalability problem. So that is the scalability problem in all the blockchain based applications. So the interoperability is the biggest issue, because all the things you cannot make on a smart contract. There are certain things that you will have to use the database. And that this interoperability is the biggest issue that I'm also facing right now. And this is kind of if you are going totally on a blockchain, then this issue will not come. But yeah, we cannot build every application on a blockchain. There are certain things that we need to build on a blockchain, and that interoperability is the biggest issue right now. And obviously the regulatory challenges are there. So a lot of people, if you will talk about the blockchain, they get afraid about the blockchain. Okay, but there are certain incident also happened, but it's not blockchain's fault. It's people's fault, the people who are using that blockchain. Okay, so if you will not be careful, then your money will get lost. If you are not careful, obviously something like FTX will happen again. So it's not, you can say it's not a problem of a blockchain, it's problem of those companies and those peoples. So you can trust blockchain, I will say, and you can use those applications. Not all the blockchain, I will say, but yeah, certain properties of blockchain you can use into the applications. So the governance problem we have, because we don't have any legal things for a blockchain in India right now. So you can use it in anywhere, but like people are using, but not all the blockchains. Not Bitcoin people are not using for a transactions. Well, like people can use their, like they can make their own token and they can do the transaction. But yeah, once we'll have a CBDC, then it will get, like it will be very easy to use the blockchain in India. And then other proposal, like we are talking about a lot of people for this one. So if we are building our own blockchain like we have in China they have BSN network. So these all the Chinese applications, like they are building on that BSN network. So in India, if we have our own blockchain network, and if we have our own digital currency on top of that Indian blockchain network, then it will be easy to do all these applications on that platform. So we don't have to pay fees. We can rely on our blockchain technology, and it will help in a lot of ways. So the other problem is digital literacy. That can be solved, but yeah, but it will take some time in India to implement all those things on a level 2 or level 3 or level 4 people. So that's for my time, and thank you so much for listening me. So any question? Yeah.
Thank you, Amit. So I have a simple question. Do I necessarily need a blockchain for smart contracts?
It's specifically like not, I will say blockchain, but yeah, the smart contract is a contract, right? A contract, a piece of code, but you will have to deploy it somewhere.
Correct.
Right. So you need certain application of blockchain to deploy those contracts.
So we need blockchain for the smart contracts?
Blockchain means like the understand.
Some piece of code is required, but not necessarily blockchain.
Yeah, not necessarily blockchain, yeah.
Right. So the challenge with writing the code, especially in blockchain, is that, see, in blockchain there are two parts. One is writing the code, another is deploying the network itself.
Yeah.
Both are challenging. But network needs to be secure, and it needs to scale up. And writing the code itself is a complex piece. As you correctly pointed out, that the literacy in that field is not there.
But writing code is expert's work. It's not like you are going to make them write who are level 2 or level 3 vendors into the supply chain, if I'll talk about the specific application.
Correct.
You are just, suppose I am working for a Chris, okay. So you are sitting in a computer room like in a Chris center. People are like computer experts, okay. So they are IT experts. They will write the code and they will make a simple interface for the level 2 or level 3 vendors. So right now they are logging into their system and they are feeding those values. So same thing they can do right now also. You can write the contract and you can deploy that on a blockchain, and you can run all those things from like by sitting into that room, okay. So the one you are doing right now, and you can show them. So this is the contract, and once you will match, your payment will automatically get done once your work is done, and it will not take any time for payment, and they will also get motivated for those things, but you will have to make it simpler for them.
Yeah, so basically then what we are suggesting is that the contracts in the business form needs to be explained to some kind of developer who will convert into code, and then later on it will get executed. So
right now, I'll talk about the specific purchase order generation. Okay, so purchase order means there are certain, like on a paper you will write something, the value of those things and all those digital signature, everything you will write on those papers, right? So those things you can write on a code, and you can put a digital signature on top of that. And these things, what happen, that is kind of a manual process. Okay, you will go and you will check all those things. You can write the conditions there also. Okay, but that is stored at a single place. Okay, that is centralized data. So you can tamper with that data at any time if you have that authority. Okay, but if you are writing on a contract and if you are deploying on a network, you cannot put it on open network. You can create your own network, your own blockchain. Okay, suppose into the railway, they build their own blockchain network at a CRIS, and all those 29, 28 nodes and the other vendors also, they can add into that network. So all people can see how much transaction is happening and when happened and how much they delivered. Everyone can see. And that contract will be very transparent, and you can show that contract. It is open and you can show all the vendors, and they will, once they will agree on that, then this is kind of like the work is kind of on a, like in a second it will happen. The contract will get executed.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about scalability.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges of the blockchain is scalability.
Yeah.
Because as the data increases, the effort, which is the processing power as well as the cost to get the data out, increases heavily, right? Is there any study to show that or to determine the cost of that?
So there are studies, but I cannot show those studies because I haven't prepared for that. But yeah, I'll talk about that.
Amit.
So right now we have almost 500 GB data in a Bitcoin. 500, almost 500. I don't know exactly, but yeah, almost 500 GB data in a Bitcoin. If you are going to deploy that network in your computer, then you will have to download all 500 GB data on your network, okay, on computer. So these 500 GB, in a 72 lakh transaction, 72 lakhs block, multiply with 2000. That average is 2000 transaction in a single block, okay. So if you multiply those things, and it will come, I don't know, in few millions, I think it will come, okay. So that data is 500 GB, okay. And if you are building so much transaction in 500 GB, I think for a government organization, they have like very large data, not 500 GB, they have in TB or petabytes, like they have data, right? So this is kind of reducing the data also. It is not increasing that data, I will say. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you. See, I need to buy a product. For that purpose, I upload my tender on, say, platform like Gem. So if I now since seeing the smart contract, I feel that, okay, I should go on a smart contract. So what I have to do, like, means to get into a smart contract with my vendors?
Okay. So what I am working right now for a railway, I think your problem is same you are saying, how to implement that smart contract into the system, right?
Yeah.
So first, like we are working on a purchase order. So how to create a purchase order?
No, first, like, I need to float a tender. So
Yeah.
I have a platform like Gem on which I can float a tender.
Yeah.
Thereafter, vendors will
So you can
respond.
have same interface also. Like you have right now, you don't have to face anything. Like the people who are creating the tender, who are placing the tender, they don't have to, there will not be any change for them. Change will be for you people who are on the backend team. Okay, they will have to create the network. They will have to create a user interface for them. You can make a same interface, the one you are using right now, and they will just log into that system, and you will get those data, and those transactions will get fastly, and those contract will get executed automatically. It will be for you, not for them. For them it will be very easy, and for you also it will be very easy. So like the data cannot be tempered. For them also it is very easy. For you also it will be very easy.
No, but for uploading my tender, now on Gem it is very easy for me to upload a tender. Now, but then there is no provision for smart contract to get into a smart contract, because that can be entered only on preferably on a blockchain.
Yeah.
So how do we go about it?
You don't have to put it on a blockchain. If you are a supplier, okay,
Yeah.
you are, and I have proposed a tender for you, and you are putting those entries, okay. Right now what you are doing, you are just logging into the system, you are putting all the information, okay. This is your company, and these are all the bits that you are placing. The same thing you can do here also, and that PDF get generated, right? The tender PDF get generated. So the same thing also you can generate, but the contract will not be it will not be stored like a PDF that we have right now. It will be stored on a blockchain. It will not be stored on a system, the one you have, a physical system right now, or like in the centralized database, I will say. It will not get stored there. It will get stored in a decentralized platform, the one you are using. Like right now, I'm using Hyperledger Fabric. So it is kind of permission blockchain. So you will have permission, and you can give those permission to certain people who are into the authority, like who is on a few, like 20, 30 people you can give. And if all those people, if you want to change those contract, all those 20, 30 people will require for that. You can write all the codes for that only.
But how do I get on that blockchain platform? What I have to do to get on that blockchain?
As a supplier, or as a,
both as a buyer as well as a supplier. Even for my
Amit.
vendor, how they will get on the blockchain platform? What is the procedure or what is the way to get on that?
so you are talking in terms of customer, or you are talking in terms of?
Even for a like buyer also, if I want to upload my tender
Uh-huh.
on a blockchain platform, how do I go on that platform? What is
You
the
will,
way?
you will not upload a tender on a blockchain platform. You will upload a tender just like you are doing right now.
Say, for example, right now I am uploading on GEM,
Huh.
but GEM does not have a blockchain platform. First, they will have to create a blockchain
So,
platform.
first the GEM have to create a blockchain platform. They will have to create an interface for them. Right now, the GEM have, okay, the people who are like where they are uploading right now, you will have to create a same platform, like same interface for the user, and they will upload their data on the same, like they are doing right now. The same, they will upload their data on that platform, and then it will come to you, and it will get on a blockchain. Then you can see those whatever people they have uploaded, and those people also can see at any time what they have uploaded on a blockchain.
Okay, now I have a choice to go on GEM. Suppose if I don't want to go on GEM, I want to go on any of available blockchain platform. Is there any such platforms available in India, like where I can?
Fabric we are using right now, Hyperledger Fabric.
Hyperledger Fabric.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is kind of permission blockchain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but is there any registration required to get on to that platform?
If you are putting a contract onto that, then you will have to pay the fees. Registration is not required. Yeah, if it is a permission blockchain, you can write your identity also, or you can become anonymous into that network. But if you want to, like, why Bitcoin was there, like for the anonymity of people were misusing those technologies. Okay, so that's why it came this permission blockchain. Here you can see all those people. They can write there. You can, whatever data you are taking right now, the same data you can take on a blockchain. But the certain these properties, the blockchain will hold. This will be benefit for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We can have only one question now.
Yeah. Okay.
See, please understand that whatever we are doing in the domain of supply chain in India, they are all based on relational database. Okay? As he was asking, if you have to shift to what is here being discussed as a smart contract, that architecture first of all has to be developed. And just as in the case of relational database, whether it is e-procurement or entire end-to-end supply chain, a concept developed which took about 10 years to come to this stage. Here also, the concept will develop, and as somebody was asking whether it will be, we need a blockchain, and he answered yes or no. There can be a situation. Now, those of you who are in the domain of supply chain, if you want to use smart contract in the context of public procurement, blockchain will perhaps not be used. This is the current level of understanding. Whether you call it GEM or PPP or IREPS, none of them are currently geared for a smart contract. The first step which has to be done for a smart contract is to tell the supplier, here is your contract. And this contract is as much yours as it is mine. You don't have to log on to CPP today and tomorrow to NTPC and third day on GEM. You be on your platform to the extent either NTPC or GEM or CPP is also on some kind of smart chain. You can log on to your system. You take out only such data from your system which you want to share with a particular party, say GEM, and GEM will get data. So the Conceptually, it is different. There is no master holder of data like GEM. Operationally, it is different, and coding-wise, it is different. There was a question whether every contract will be coded. No. Every type of contract in your language, if it's a global tender, if it's advertised tender, if it's a rate contract or kind of thing, you can have smart contract templates in which you can feed, just like general conditions of contract. And you can have special conditions of contract, which Professor Shyam Sundar was talking about. There can be a human oracle or human body who knows कि ये global tender है, इसमें bill of entry लगेगा, so something else has to be done, and for which maybe coding is too complex. So he will do that manual thing. Is that clear on an operational level? Okay, now we don't have time, and the next lecture.
Sir, I mean to say, the part of the smart contract is already under implementation in GEM, because GEM, the push button procurement is there.
No, hang on.
Where we
I
give
know
just
that.
our requirement and we get the contract
exactly.
in 5 days.
So it is basically matching database to database.
Yeah,
That is what GEM is currently doing.
yeah.
And therefore it is relational database based.
No, it is doing the evaluation, and finally we just give the requirement, and within 5 days we have to only sign the contract. We don't have to do anything.
But it still it is centralized with GEM. Okay, fine. If you want to call it smart contract, live with it.